off with, I'll just give a couple of definitions. So greenfield projects are building something from scratch. So putting a new mine, a new offshore oil platform, a new plant where there was previously nothing. And brownfield projects are, modifying or adding equipment within an operating facility. So I think there'll be people in the room who are familiar with one or both of those types of projects. Having been heavily involved in both types, this is not really from the perspective of just an engineering perspective or just a construction perspective. It's kind of really just an overview at a very high level, but I'm not going to go into tremendous detail on any particular phase of the project. But that's the context, and we'll start rolling. So first thing I'll say is, in terms of objectives, greenfield projects, as we all know, are typically much larger in terms of dollar figures, and so as a result, they're normally sanctioned at a higher level. They get a lot more scrutiny from a board of directors, shareholders, or in some cases just a single investor. But as a result, obviously the ROI is one of the factors that factors into whether or not to proceed with one of these projects, and the focus really is on minimizing that capital cost. The dollars are so high, on $1 billion project, if you go over by 10%, that's $100 million. Whereas in a brownfield situation, the focus is very much more on, as opposed to being cost driven, it's much more schedule driven, because typically the production loss or the production bottleneck that's resulting from having to take that piece of equipment down or what have you, typically dwarfs the actual construction or the project costs themselves. So from a financial perspective, the business is going to be much more focused on meeting schedule as opposed to really trying to trim down the actual project cost. And we'll get into how that ripples through the implementation in a little bit. And also because of the dollar figures, for a brownfield, you're typically looking at more local scrutiny as opposed to going back to corporate office or the board of directors, that type of thing.